Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's the 6th of July, 2024, and tonight was the WWE Money in the Bank Premium Live event from the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I thought overall it was a really good show. We got a lot of stuff in the post-show as well, as far as John Cena, CM Punk, Tiffany Stratton, and Triple H all speaking at the press conference. We got an angle with Drew McIntyre and Adam Pearce during the post-show as well. So WWE doing a lot of stuff, more than just on the regular pay-per-view, but then doing what's where they call it, ancillary, I think that's the right word, content as well, doing more things even after the show is over. So I wonder what's going to happen there if you didn't see it on the post-show. So we all know what happened with Drew McIntyre. He got screwed by CM Punk again. Actually, Punk pissed off two people tonight. Anyways, so during the post-show, what they were doing was they would kick it to the post-show host, Jackie Redmond, Big E, and Wade Barrett. And then they would send it to the press conference when they're ready for the next person. And at one point, Drew McIntyre storms out and just starts yelling and screaming and this and that. And so, like, people come out to try and pull Drew away. He shoves one guy off. Then Adam Pearce runs out there. He grabs Drew. Drew shoves him into the little barricade they got there. So Adam Pearce jumps up, grabs Drew again like he's going to do something. And Wade Barrett's got to jump up, get in the way, tell Drew, hey, leave it be. Career's on the line. If you do something to him, it's not going to be favorable to you and this and that and so forth. So there's an angle after the show tonight with Adam Pearce and Drew McIntyre where they got physical with each other to the point where Drew shoved him into the barricade. So, and again, the way it was played out is Drew may have not known that that was Adam Pearce, but regardless, he shouldn't have been shoving anybody in that moment like that. He was a crazy, psycho, just, I don't care about nothing, nobody kind of thing. So very interesting there. We'll also talk about some of the stuff from the press conference as well with John Cena and him actually going into detail on what this retirement tour, farewell tour actually is. He was asked, are you ending this at Mania? Is that it? This and that and so forth. And he said basically he's going to work a number of matches, 30 to 40 dates within 2025 from January to December. And there we go. So we'll talk more about that in a little bit as well. But I do just looking at things here. Chat's good there. Chat's good there. So, yeah. Also, Kevin Abreu says, what happened to the hat? What do you mean what happened to the hat? Got the King of Buds hat. Number 25, old, can't think about it. Ken Schrader, Hendrick Motorsports hat collection. I'm in a new place. Don't have the hats on this wall anymore. Got something different. So, yeah, we moved. We ain't even in the same state anymore. So, yeah, you're a month behind, bud. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, doing so gets you no ads during any of our shows, any of our live streams, any of that. Also, you can help us out over on YouTube by hitting that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live and when we post things to the community tab. You can also support by hitting the join button and becoming a channel member. Even if you only support at the $1 tier, we highly, highly appreciate it. Whether that is here on YouTube as a member or at patreon.com/PWU Unlimited. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use our code PWU Unlimited at checkout and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Maybe you're claiming, or not, maybe you're claiming the free game, The Falconeer, which is a really good game. Maybe you're pre-ordering Star Wars Outlaws, or you're getting the new Magneto stuff. In Fortnite, use our code PWU NLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. And Curvin Abreu, I do have something for you. You Say, where's the hat collection? It's here. Here. In this box. And there's another box as well. But most of them are all right here. All 30, almost 40 hats. I just haven't decided what I'm going to do with them here. I don't know if I'm going to do the same thing. Maybe. But I'm not sure. Because, I'm going to be honest, the way I did it before, I had these deals where the hats actually like go in and it messed up the wall in the old place. It pulled the paint and everything right off of it, and I don't want to do that here. Because where I was before, it wasn't a big deal if I messed up the wall because they were going to repaint anyways. Here, they just remodeled this house, and it's like I'm friends with the owner. I was living with a friend then before. So, yeah, I can't just whatever with the walls here. I'll be a little more, cautious on what I do. So, I want to maybe do something with them again, maybe put them somewhere, but I got to figure out a better way to do it than I did last time. Because again, like I said, it was like double-sided self-adhesive tape onto the thing where the hat sat in and then onto the wall. And when we pulled them off, it was just destroying the wall. So yeah. Anywho, as far as the show does go, I didn't watch any of the pre-show. So if there was anything on the pre-shows, I didn't see it. Anything on the countdown to Money in the Bank, I didn't see it. But I did start right when the show started. So Trish Stratus came out and announced Samantha Irvin, who came out and sang the Star Spangled Banner, the national anthem. Then they brought out another guy, not sure who he actually was, and he sang the Canadian national anthem. So kind of cool that they did that. Very weird, though. Here's my thing with all of this. Very weird that they did the American national anthem before this show, and then the Canadian national anthem because they're in Canada. But weird because they don't do that before most pay-per-views. Usually you only get the national anthem before Mania. And usually it's not even the national anthem. Sometimes it's America the Beautiful and whatnot. So weird. I don't know if it's like a thing where they had to do the Canadian national anthem. So if they're going to do the Canadian, they do the American. I don't know. I don't know why they did that, but yeah. Kind of weird. Kind of odd. Kind of whatever. So we get a live aerial shot of Toronto to open up the show. As we see the new bloodline, Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, all arriving to the building. Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, also shown arriving as well. With the cold open, Michael Cole and Corey Graves welcome us to the event and announced that we'll be kicking off with the men's ladder match. And Corey Graves stated that he worked this show tonight with an 102 fever. And you could hear he was losing his voice. I thought he was losing his voice just because he was going crazy through the show. No. Corey Graves is losing his voice because he was sick. He traveled to Canada and worked this show sick. Now, I don't know if he was sick before he got there. He seemed fine last night on SmackDown. So I don't know if he got sick overnight or if he was starting to get sick yesterday, but regardless, Corey Graves said that he worked this show with 102-degree fever. So the first match of the night was the men's ladder match. It was Carmelo Hayes, Chad Gable, Andrade, LA Knight, Jey Uso, and Drew McIntyre. The announcers noted that the men's ladder match was sponsored by The Boys on Amazon Prime. Actually, both were. And if you've ever seen The Boys, then you know what Voight International is. And they had the Voight International logo on the briefcase, which is kind of interesting. So, yeah. Jey Uso entered first to a great ovation from the crowd. They did the Big Yeet chant for him and the dance and everything. The LA Knight then walked out under a ladder that was set up at ringside as the fans chanted for him. Chad Gable then came out to loud boos and "You Suck" chants in the theme, like in the rhythm of his theme. Carmelo Hayes wore Toronto Raptor-inspired gear, so that was cool. Also, we'll talk about this in a second. Hold on. And then Drew's entrance, he came out, and they chanted for CM Punk. Now, speaking of CM Punk, during the press conference, this man, big old heel move in Canada, goes, "Oh, well, give me one moment. I want to say congratulations to the Florida Panthers on winning the Stanley Cup." I get it. You're not in Edmonton, but still, to do that in Canada, oh, big heel move there. Big heel move. King says, "My girlfriend is a fan of that show." What show? Fan of what show? Did I mention a show just now or something? I don't know. Anywho. All 6 competitors teed off early on. The bell rang. McIntyre flattened Andrade with a Glasgow headbutt. Hayes and Knight fought each other, while Jay and Gable briefly brawled as well. Jay and Knight were then the only ones left in the ring as they stared at each other. They then took out Hayes and Gable on opposite sides of the ring. Kind of like, call back to last night's SmackDown when they were the last two in the ring, Jay and Knight. Oh, the boys. Yeah, got it. I've only ever watched season 1. Never went back to it. I don't know why. McIntyre then entered the ring and hit everyone with a ladder before he set it up in the middle of the ring to go and climb it. Gable intercepted him and trapped McIntyre in an armbar across the top of the ladder. Andrade then took Gable out with a springboard leg drop. He then used the ladder as a weapon to bludgeon McIntyre and Gable. Hayes and Andrade then exchanged blows before Hayes flattened his foe with a springboard clothesline. Hayes tried for another springboard move, but Andrade caught him with a springboard Spanish fly onto a ladder spread across the ring. Holy, as the crowd said, shit. That was cool. That was an awesome move. Triple H even sort of acknowledged it in the press conference, saying, a lot of people stood out tonight. I can't name everybody, but what about Andrade? So, yeah. So, that earned a holy shit chant, like I stated, from the crowd. Jay and McIntyre then faced off in the ring and started to exchange strikes before Uso hit a spear on the Scottish foe. Gable then threw Jay with a fierce German suplex before he did some to McIntyre. Gable then caught Hayes and launched him with an impressive Chaos Theory suplex. After he pulled down the straps, Gable did a German suplex on a ladder to throw it into Andrade. Basically, took the ladder and Germaned the ladder into Andrade. I've never seen that one before. Gable's ascent to the top of the ladder was stopped by LA Knight, who stomped away on him in the corner. Gable then responded with a leg drop across the middle rope to immobilize Knight. With the ladder stood on its side, Knight then threw Gable onto it with a neck breaker, and I'm like, oh my God, that hurt. Because he didn't just land flat on the ladder. The ladder was tipped on its side, so he landed right on the side of it. Spine first. Holy crap. That looked like it hurt. Outside the ring, Knight then bashed Hayes against the commentary table before he set up a particularly large ladder across the ring and commentary table, setting up like a ladder bridge deal. Knight then attempted power bombs, but was stopped with a knee from Hayes. With two ladders now set up in the ring, Gable and Hayes brawled it out as Gable caught his opponent with an ankle lock across the two ladders. McIntyre then grabbed Gable and threw him against one of the ladders before he drove him into the ladder with the powerbomb. McIntyre then hit a Claymore kick on Andrade as he tried to climb. Knight and Jay teamed up to stop him, hitting him with the BFT and an Uso splash. Jay and Knight both tried to head up the ladder, but were caught at a stalemate kind of at the top. They then traded blows as the crowd went, yeet, yeah, yeet, yeah, yeet, yeah, yeet, yeah, for all the shots thrown. Hayes then emerged and tipped over the ladder to throw Jay and Knight over. He then floored Jay with a nothing but net. Hayes then almost had the briefcase in hand, but Andrade stopped him before he can get it completely. Andrade then set up a ladder bridge between the freestanding ladder and the middle rope. Knight then threw Andrade off the ladder, which caused him to jump over from one side to the other side, over Carmelo Hayes, hit a sunset flip powerbomb onto the ladder bridge. Crazy spot. That took Carmelo Hayes out for the rest of the match. Gable then threw Knight on the ladder bridge set up at ringside. He appeared to be all clear for grabbing the briefcase, but Jay pushed the ladder away to leave him dangling precariously. Gable then fell off, basically, and then got hit with a spear. Jay came dangerously close to grabbing the briefcase, but McIntyre stopped him by throwing a ladder right in his face. That put Jay out of commission. McIntyre was in the clear, grabbed the briefcase, and picked up the victory. Here, winning Money in the Bank tonight in Toronto. And we knew what Drew's plan was. Drew had told us, I'm going to win Money in the Bank, and I'm going to cash it in the same night. Well, he did that, but he said, I'm going to cash it in. He didn't do anything else there. He failed because, well, we'll talk about it a little bit. CM Punk pissing off multiple people tonight, not just Drew. So, hot opener from the bell. Many people stood out here. Many people looked great. Andrade, Hayes, and Gable, I think, were standouts for sure as far as like getting their moment to shine. And so, yeah, I love this. I thought it was great. I thought it was awesome. Super fun match. This then led to, well, another great match that had a very shocking finish. I'm going to say right now, I didn't expect Sami Zayn to pick up the win here at all. I did not expect Sami Zayn to win tonight. Like, not in the least bit. So the two kind of sized each up. I can't speak. Sized each other up early on. Breaker then threw Zayn with an overhead belly-to-belly kind of move. Breaker then followed that up with another shoulder throw. Commentary noted that Breaker said that he wanted to, quote, destroy Sami Zayn tonight. Zayn slapped Breaker right in the face, which prompted a shoulder thrust to the corner. Basically, Sami telling him, I ain't backing down to you. I don't care if you're faster, stronger, bigger, whatever. Zayn quickly recovered and took down Breaker with a top rope elbow smash. Breaker then got thrown over the top rope, and Zayn sized him up with an Arabian press, which barely connected. Zayn then worked over Breaker for a bit until he crushed him with a high-speed Steiner line. Breaker then followed that up with a belly-to-belly suplex as he continued to attack Zayn in the corner. Breaker then mocked Zayn's ole ole chants. As he kept up the onslaught, Zayn then kicked out of another belly-to-belly as Breaker just did push-ups in the middle of the ring. And commentary talked about, Braun Breaker's being a little too arrogant, being a little too overzealous, doing them push-ups and thinking he's got Sami down without pouncing and getting on him. Breaker then got battered with repeated elbows from Sami. Caught him with a DDT from the top rope. That then got a close two for Sami Zayn. Zayn then went on the offense once again, clotheslining Breaker over the top rope out of the ring. At ringside, Zayn tried a moonsault, but Breaker caught him. Zayn then pushed Breaker into the ring post to briefly create some separation. Zayn threw Breaker out of the ring and looked to have him set up for a tornado DDT. Breaker intercepted him with a fierce pounce and threw Zayn back in the ring. Zayn then countered the spear with the Blue Thunder Bomb, but Breaker kicked out, only had a 2. Breaker positioned Sami across the top turnbuckle and ran full force at him with an impressive Frankensteiner, just walking them ropes, not even just, no, he didn't climb, he walked up the ropes, which is wild. Zayn, though, kicked out at 2. Crowd responded to the action here with a "This is awesome" chants. Outside the ring, Breaker looked to have the spear set up, but Zayn avoided it. Breaker instead flattened Zayn with a leaping clothesline from the apron. Breaker then grabbed Zayn for the gorilla press, but he got countered into an exploder suplex. Zayn hit a haluva kick. Tried to hit a haluva kick, and it was intercepted with a vicious knee from Breaker. There was a gorilla press by Breaker here. Zayn was in the prime position for a spear, but kicked Breaker in the head. Brought him down, hit him with a haluva kick, pinned him, and retained the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah. Sami retained the title. Big shocker to me. I did not expect Sami Zayn to retain the title tonight, but he did. Sami is still our Intercontinental Champion. We had a video of them announcing the Bad Blood pay-per-view coming back this year in Atlanta on Sunday, October 5th, 2024. Literally 27 years to the day of the first ever Hell in a Cell event that did take place or Hell in a Cell match that took place at a Bad Blood pay-per-view. So yeah, very wild, very crazy. Then we got the announcement. Trish Stratus comes out, and we had known previously from a report from PW Insider that there is a quote-unquote Trish Stratus segment slated for 15 minutes or so. Trish comes out on the stage and asks if the fans were having fun. She then put over the special moments inside the ring here in the Scotiabank Arena and says, I also want to do one more thing. Introduce a former 16-time world champion, and she brought out John Cena. Now, again, we knew Cena was there. We knew Cena was in town there at the building per reports from Fightful and PW Insider. PW Insider then told us, we're getting a 15-minute segment, at some point in this show. And Cena came out, and Cena dropped the bomb wearing all new gear that said, the last time is now. John Cena Farewell Tour 2025. And then on the back of the shirt, it said, give me 1 second and I'll pull that up because I can't remember exactly. Yeah, you can't see me, but it had like small writing on it as well. It said, after this, you can't see me. And it was written on a door on the back of the shirt. The back of the shirt looks stupid with the door. But yeah, I'd probably buy it just to have it. because it's going to be, John Cena said, after this next run this year, so this gear, he said the costume, the gear, the everything, it's retired, it's done. The jorts are gone. So this may be John Cena's last iteration of gear that we can buy. And trying to think. I know my son's got a couple John Cena shirts, or at least did. They don't fit him anymore. I don't think I've ever myself bought a John Cena shirt. I might get this one just for what it means and what it is. Maybe get the shirt and the hat. I don't know. We'll see. They are available now, and I will give you our link, because if you use our link to go buy them, you are supporting PW Unlimited. So give me 1 second. I will give you our link. Let me see if this works. I'll put it in the live chat for you guys. I think this will work. Get the John Cena Farewell Tour merch now. Boom. So the link should work there. Put it on YouTube. Put it in the Twitch chat as well. You should be able to click those and go from there. So as far as Cena does go, Cena comes out. Huge reaction from the crowd. And Cena said that he was here and he didn't waste no time. He's just right to it. He said, "I'm here to officially announce my retirement from WWE." And the crowd just, you can hear the audible gasp, and the wind sucked out of that crowd. They were just like, "Whew." They didn't know how to react at first. Cena acknowledged the reaction being mixed and wondered why he chose to announce his retirement here. He said that in 2 decades of being in WWE, he's seen waves of prosperity and also times of tremendous hardship, where only the most dedicated fans stand by his side. He said that whether WWE was hot or cold, Canadians always showed up. Cena said that farewell does not mean the end tonight. He said, Raw's moving to Netflix, and I'm going to be on a Raw on Netflix. He said, the 2025 Royal Rumble, though, that's my last Royal Rumble. 2025 Elimination Chamber, that's my last Elimination Chamber. WrestleMania 41 in Vegas, that's my last. And some took that as John Cena saying that's his last show. He's done after next year's Mania, but that's not it. That's not it. I saw some people, even some other reporters and whatnot, saying, oh, Cena's done at Mania. No. John Cena stated Mania is not it. Next year will be his final WrestleMania match. But as we stated, John Cena stated in the press conference after the show that he did open and kick off. Right now, the plan is for him to work anywhere from 30 to 40 dates from January to December 2025. He said he is still busy with other projects, so he's working everything out and figuring everything out and getting everything together. We don't know if there's going to be like just one big schedule that comes out and says, these are all the dates you can see Cena next year. But we know he's working the Rumble. We know he's working the Rumble. We know he's going to work the Elimination Chamber event. We know he's going to work WrestleMania. He also teased working Money in the Bank next year, because in the press conference, he was like, hey, someone asked him if you want to go for the title again. And he's like, that we'll see. We'll see if that even happens. But I'm not going to just use who I am to get opportunities. I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. He said a great way to do that is win the Royal Rumble. Another great way to do that now with the Elimination Chamber being an inroad to WrestleMania and the world title shot is winning the Elimination Chamber, or maybe I come in and win Money in the Bank. So Cena didn't rule out a 17th championship world title, but he stated that on this farewell tour, this run, he will start from the bottom and earn everything that he gets and work his way up. He also did state that after this year, like I said, the clothes are gone, the gimmick's gone, the jorts are gone. And when we see him post the retirement tour, the farewell tour, because he will still be part of WWE, it'll be John in a suit and tie. Cena says that he will be kicking off the press conference, and he'll answer all questions asked, which he did, or at least tried to, because they kept trying to wrap him up, and he goes, nope, I can't. Nope, I said I'd answer all the questions. Give me another question. Give me another question. And then basically when the lady with the mic wouldn't go around anymore, he's like, just somebody speak. The crowd starts chanting, thank you, Cena. And with tears in his eyes, Cena sincerely thanked the fans for their honesty and for allowing him to plan something unforgettable, and that they can start this all here tonight in Toronto. He said, quote, You want some? Then hurry up and come get some, because the last time is now. Wrapped it up, and it was a great promo. You could tell that it was heartfelt. You could tell that this means a lot to him, that he gets to go out on his terms. And it's not like, oh, you're hurt, you got to retire. Oh, we don't want you no more. None of that. It's, he's ready. He knows that he's got not much time left, as far as he's 47 years old, can't keep doing this. And so let's go out on his own terms. Triple H said that they're going to give John whatever he wants. They're going to work with him as far as everything they're going to do. And he was asked in the press conference, Triple H, so John Cena going to go in the Hall of Fame? He goes, is that even a question? John Cena should get his own Hall of Fame. Triple H basically stated, there's a lot of things that people look at when they try to determine who the greatest professional wrestler of all time is. There's a lot of metrics. He said, but when you look at those metrics, John Cena should be at the top of all of them, because he's basically said there's been nobody better in this business, for this business, than John Cena. And I can see the argument. I really can. You can see, the Hulk Hogan era, and Hulk Hogan and Vince and all that in the 80s made professional wrestling not just nationwide, but worldwide. Then Austin came in and made wrestling cool in the 90s, along with The Rock. But then Cena came in, and Cena made sure that when it was a down period, people didn't forget about pro wrestling. People didn't forget about the WWE, and people still cared. And I think that was harder than all of it, for Cena to keep the fan base after the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, the PG Era, 2014 to 2021, and all that. So I could see, saying John's one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest. I can see the argument of saying John Cena for everything overall that he did. Not because, he's great in the ring. Oh, because he's great promo. Oh, because of the PR that he does and everything. I think it's all of that. With like Hogan, it was good promos, decent matches. With Austin, it was good promos, good matches. But what did we hear that Austin did off camera? Same with Hogan. What did we hear that he did off camera? With Cena, it's on camera, off camera, behind the scenes. There was just so much that he did for the business. So I could see the argument of Cena being the greatest of all time for more than just, and no one will ever say Cena's the best in-ring wrestler of all time. No one will ever say, some may say Cena's one of the best promos, because Cena did cut some pretty great promos. But I think from a standpoint of what it means to be the top guy in a wrestling company and a professional wrestler at the top, Cena is on that list of one of the best ever. Backstage, Damian Priest with a Judgment Day. He asked them not to get involved in his business tonight, and he was preparing for his world title match. As Priest left, Balor said, whatever you want, boss. Kind of with a little bit of attitude. Which then led us to Damian Priest defending the WWE, or not the WWE, they'll call it WWE, but Damian Priest defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth Rollins, and eventually also Drew McIntyre, because this match does become a triple threat. So the stipulations here were, A, if Damian Priest retains, Seth can no longer challenge for the title as long as Priest is a champion. And B, if Seth wins the belt, Priest must also leave the Judgment Day. So with that stip right there, I knew Priest was walking out with the title no matter what. Rollins came out, huge ovation. Priest got a pretty good ovation as well. After the introductions, the match started with Rollins fastly going after Priest. And, commentary did a good job, because this match, fast-paced early on. And commentary was like, these two want to get this match over with, because they knew Drew McIntyre is lingering, and they don't want Drew McIntyre coming out and messing up this match, trying to cash in on them after they're tired. So I love commentary bringing that up very early, because these two were working a really fast pace early on. So Priest attempted to hit his signature moves early, one right after the other, but to no avail. Rollins' suplex was countered into a Falcon Arrow by Priest in this exchange. Priest then crushed Rollins with a repeated splash in the corner, but got caught with a sling blade on the attempt. He then got sent to the outside as Rollins looked at the entrance and called out Drew, basically like, just get this over with. Rollins hit a series of 3 suicide dives on Priest that sent him over the announce table. He dodged a kick from Priest and took him down with a super kick. With Priest stunned in the middle of the ring, Rollins then launched himself with the springboard swanton, then a moonsault for a near fall. Priest then planted Rollins with the headlock driver as he tried for a South of Heaven, but he got countered into a pin attempt instead, but kicked out. Rollins then slammed Priest down with the power slam, followed by a running knee. He ascended to the top rope for a frog splash that only got a 2 count. Rollins then tried for another top rope move, but Priest kind of hit him with a throat thrust. Priest then looked to hit a move of some sorts, but Rollins wiggled out and hit a buckle bomb instead. Priest responded with a sit-up power bomb of his own. Priest then began to smack talk Rollins as he slapped him across the face. This, though, fired up Seth. We got an exchange of blows here from the champion and the challenger. Priest then got the better of the exchange, and he got Rollins with repeated spinning kicks and looked to have him caught with the South of Heaven. Rollins reversed it and managed to land the stomp on Priest for an incredibly close near fall. Rollins then yelled at Priest to stand on his own 2 feet as the world champion, and he struggled to get to his feet. Basically, Rollins is like, you can do it. Get up. Let's fight. Priest recovered and planted Rollins with the Razor's Edge for a close near fall. Priest then went to the top rope, where Rollins intercepted it with a headbutt. Priest then managed to basically get Rollins off of him, but not for long. Rollins then got the superplex into a Falcon Arrow combo and got a 2.999, like the closest near fall you can get. But this was messed up. This was very messed up. They called it like a 2.999, but it wasn't a 2.999. They did this sequence and reversals and everything off the top rope. And then, so Damien's down. Seth goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Ref pulls the count. Moments later, Drew's music hits. He comes down, makes the triple threat. Well, everyone's asking, what happened here? Did Drew not kick out? Did the ref mess up? Was there supposed to be something where Drew's music hits? And I know Damien not kick out, not Drew. Did Damien not kick out? Did the ref mess up, or was Drew's music supposed to hit to stop the ref's count and distract him? And according to Triple H in the press conference, he was asked by, I think it was Chris Van Vliet. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. He was asked, so what happened in the Drew match or the Damien match? Why didn't he kick out? Triple H is like, I don't know. That's a question we got to ask. Why didn't he kick out? He goes, one thing I will say is the referee's decision is final. I will have a talk with that referee. But I don't know what happened. Maybe the referee saw something that led him to not make the count. He said, but in the end, Damien didn't kick out. So it's all on Damian Priest for not kicking out, apparently, according to Triple H. But like he said, maybe the ref saw something or did something. It could be on both. I don't know. Like I said, refs are always told call it like a shoot. So if someone don't kick out, you got to call that. You got to count that count. But regardless, Drew comes down. Cashes in Money in the Bank. And this match becomes a triple threat, which means no DQ. McIntyre dropped Rollins with a Future Shock DDT and sized him up for a Claymore. Priest intercepted with a clothesline, but he got taken down with a kick that glazed him. McIntyre then wanted to finish Priest off, but CM Punk would run in and attack Drew from behind. Crowd loses their minds when CM Punk runs out. Punk then assaulted Drew at ringside with a steel chair. He threw McIntyre into the timekeeper's area and smashed him with the chair over and over. Punk then started looking at that world title. Drew got back in the ring, and Punk grabbed the belt. Punk then jumped up on the apron, sized up Drew, and clobbered him across the head with the title. Punk then went and watched the rest of this by sitting on the announce table as Michael Cole is yelling, Phil, what are you doing, Phil? What was all that for, Phil? And I'm like, oh, Michael Cole's shooting here. So McIntyre's out of it. He's dazed. He's groggy. He just got hit in the head with the world title. Damien grabs him, hits him with the South of Heaven chokeslam, and pins him to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. So Drew's out of it in the ring. Not really sure what had just happened. And Seth's on the outside. Seth realizes what happens and is pissed. Seth Rollins is ecstatically mad, and he's yelling, slowly walking over to Punk, who's sitting on the announce table. Punk's just looking over like, oh, why is this guy mad? What did I do to him? So freaking sick Corey Graves jumps up and stops Seth. He's like, Seth, don't do it. Get back up, Seth. Seth, let's talk this out, and da-da-da-da-da. And so he calms down Seth Rollins. Yeah. Punk didn't just piss off Drew. He pissed off Seth as well. So it's like, what's going to happen here? Now Seth Rollins has beef with CM Punk because here's the thing, stipulation. If Seth didn't win, he can't challenge Damian again for the title. So, in turn, Seth got screwed twice. It got turned into a triple threat because of Drew, and then Punk led to Drew getting beat, which led to Seth losing, and if Seth lost, boom, title shot's gone. So it's not like he can even say, I got screwed, my opportunity was taken from me, let me get another shot. No, Stip says you can't do that. It says no matter what, you cannot challenge again as long as Damian Priest is the champion. A couple video packages, and when we come back, Michael Cole tells us it is now official. At SummerSlam in Cleveland, Gunther will challenge Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. He also announces that it'll be Nia Jackson Bailey, which we already knew, and then we go from there. But yeah, so they're not doing any kind of, at least not right now storyline-wise, anything nefarious to be like, oh, well, Seth's going to get another rematch because he got screwed and this and that and whatnot. Nope. Right now, what we're supposed to believe is that Seth, we don't know what he's doing at SummerSlam now. Now it looks like he wants Punk. We're going to get Seth, Punk, and Drew? I don't know. But as of right now, Seth looks to now be maybe working with Punk, or at least mad at Punk, and we'll see what happens on Raw. Also, Punk was asked if he's cleared. He said, I'll leave that up for you guys to think about, but I'll just tell you right now, I feel great and I feel like I can go. But there are things in place to keep me safe from myself. It's like, 'cause if it was up to me, I would just go out there and do whatever, like I did, like 10 years ago. He's like, but right now, these people actually care. They're not going to let me do anything before the time is right. And then Jackie Redmond also was like, mentioning what Punk said and was like, yeah, we've heard he's not been cleared. So Punk apparently with like 4 weeks to go for SummerSlam has not yet been cleared. Apparently, what we're supposed to believe. This then led to the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, which was a tale of two stories. This match started off not all that great and ended super hot. Ended in a way where I was like, give these women all the claps. Michael and Corey Graves gave a standing ovation. So yeah, this match did not start off good, but it ended very hot, very well. So I would say Chelsea Green probably got the best reaction for the entrances because, well, she's Canadian. Match started off with all the competitors except Green leaving the ring to try and grab ladders. Green finally got a ladder and was left alone in the middle of the ring to try and climb it, but couldn't because of her fair heights. Green then took Naomi down and Stark off of a ladder before Sky launched herself with a kick to Green. Sky then showed off her athleticism as she avoided Stratton's offense with a flipping dodge. She then drop-kicked Stratton into a ladder as she followed that up with a Meteora. Lyra Valkyria sent Sky into the corner, popped up on a ladder with a suplex. She then got a fisherman suplex on Sky right on another ladder. Stark then took out Valkyria with a springboard missed dropkick, followed by a German suplex and a clothesline. Stark then caught Valkyria springboard and hit a rough Lucas Samoa drop on the ladder, like stiff, hard, oof. Stark then looked to hit some sort of wacky dive. She was on the apron, did like a springboard thing where she jumped up and then kind of do like a bounce and then a twist and a move, and she slightly overshot. I think it was Lyra laying on a ladder, smacked her head on the side of the ladder and just crashed on the mat. Appeared to be fine though, because she kept doing stuff later. Naomi recovered at one point and planted Starks with a split-legged moonsault. She then did a leg drop on a ladder. Stratton got a rather impressive Alabama slam on Naomi. So we've seen her do this cartwheel into an Alabama slam. We've seen a couple of them not look all that great. This one tonight was picture perfect. Couldn't have been done any better. She slams Naomi and yells loudly, "Tiffy time," and the crowd starts chanting, "Tiffy time." Went to the top rope and an amazing swanton to the competitors on the outside. Back in the ring, Green set up a bigger ladder in the ring and tried to climb it gingerly. Took her time slowly, scared of heights. Sky then stopped her ascent with a ladder sandwich. Her climb is stopped by Valkyria, but Sky managed to trap her in a ladder tree of woe position. This wasn't enough to stop Valkyria, though, as she grabbed Sky for a unique German suplex from the ladder. Stark then took Valkyria out with a kick. Stratton and Starks then kind of like veered off at each other. There's some counters back and forth and whatnot. Naomi at one point showed some impressive balance where you got a ladder here and you got a ladder here. But Naomi's doing splits between the two, and there's one ladder that's starting to tip over, and Naomi's legs are splitting, and then finally they got her out of it. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Eventually hit a amazing split-legged DDT on Tiffany Stratton. Naomi then took some tables from under the ring and set them up at ringside. She then threw the steel. Threw Green by the steel steps. In the ring, Sky, Stark, and Valkyria were soon joined by Stratton on a ladder bridge. There's a couple ladder bridges in the middle of the ring. Stark catapulted Stratton into one of the bridges. As Valkyria came close to grabbing the briefcase, Stark then caught her and threw her right into a ladder back first. Naomi then bounced Stark off the ladder and looked to climb to the top. Green then intercepted this as the fans began to chant very loud because they wanted Chelsea to win. She set Naomi face first with an unprettier onto one of the ladder bridges. Stark then tried to climb, but Sky cut her off. The two then fought at the top of the ladder, being hit with the briefcase that was swinging around. And eventually, Io hit a big superplex, kind of like a Falcon Arrow style move, onto one of the ladder bridges. Kind of like started like a superplex into Falcon Arrow, then kind of closed it with like a Michinoku driver air deal onto the ladder bridge. Those two were dead. Green then looked to climb the ladder yet again. Ring was cleared. But then all of a sudden, in comes Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany then pushes over the ladder. Chelsea goes flying off the ladder to the outside through the two tables that were set up earlier at ringside. And I'm like, oh, we've seen this before. She's done this bump before in TNA, Impact Wrestling. There was I think it was a Queen of the Ring match. And her and Deonna Purrazzo at the top of the ladder. Jordan Grace tipped the ladder over, and her and Deonna went crashing through the two tables on the outside. So we've seen Chelsea Green do this spot before, but as soon as Chelsea crashes through the ladder, through the tables, Tiffany's at the top of a ladder. She grabs the briefcase, and as soon as she grabbed that briefcase, this crowd erupted so loudly, you would have thought Chelsea won in Canada. But no, it was Tiffy. Tiffy time, Tiffany Stratton. Barbie is Money in the Bank. Ms. Money in the Bank. That was my pick. I would have loved, like my deep down pick was Chelsea Green because I wanted to see Chelsea with the briefcase so bad. But I knew the logical, smart pick was Tiffany Stratton. We do have a couple of bit donations here. Remember, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating bits on Twitch or a super chat on YouTube. Esports Gaming Rules says, I can't wait for the John Cena retirement tour. Even ESPN is talking about it on X, Twitter, and I'm going to watch Money in the Bank 2024 on demand on my MVP of the overall. Okay, hold on. Have you not watched the show yet? You just said I'm going to go watch it on demand. So how can you have an MVP of the ladder match if you haven't watched the show? Just saying. What? Also, he also says here in another donation, thank you. Triple H knows better about retirement runs in pro wrestling than Vince. Well, actually, this was all Cena's idea. Cena went to them about doing this farewell tour. So that's what it was. Cena went to them, and they obliged. Basically, Triple H is like, we'll give John whatever he wants. John wants to do this farewell tour, then he gets it. Because John Cena has been so great to this company. The greatest of all time. Triple H called him the greatest of all time multiple times. To the point where he's like, John Cena in the Hall of Fame? John Cena just deserves his own Hall of Fame. Like, not his own wing, as they joke about with certain wrestlers, or, John Cena, we could praise him for. No, he's like, there should be just a John Cena Hall of Fame for everything that John Cena has done in this business. Queen of the Mountain. Thank you, Kid Vicious. I know I said it wrong. Queen of the Ring. No, Queen of the Mountain. That match from TNA Impact Wrestling that Chelsea did the bump. I had someone try to say, oh, yeah, Chelsea's done this before in NXT. No, she hasn't. Chelsea was never in a what's it called? Ladder match in NXT. Also, I just realized this ticker at the bottom is going way too fast. Let me slow that down for a second. Transition speed. Let's go here. See if that's better. I just realized it was going way too. Nope, I did it wrong. Oh, I see what I did wrong. It's supposed to be a 7, not a 2. There we go. Now it should be running smoother. Not as fast, just shoo. I realized I was going shoo. Shoo. Now, see, now you got time to read it. Like me, my dyslexic ass, couldn't have read any of that. Anywho. Great match by the end. I will say that. Early on, it was a little rough, but by the end, it was good. We go backstage, and Trish Stratus is being interviewed when Tiffany Stratton interrupts, says, you shouldn't be talking to her. She's talking about me. I just won Money in the Bank. And then they kind of tease something between Trish and Tiffany, and they said Trishy time, which kind of sounded, I don't know. And so, yeah, what are we going to get? Tiffany and Trish? I don't know if I want to see that. This then led to our main event, and I'm going to say right now, why the hell was this match the main event? Good match. I enjoyed the match. But it just ended with an end. The match ended, and that was it. Cody got pinned. Cool. I feel like this show would have been talked about more if it ended with Seth pissed off, yelling at CM Punk, and that was how the show went off the air. I really wish that the World Heavyweight Championship match, which at one point, according to Dave Meltzer, was listed as the main event, should have main evented. I wish it would have main evented. There was so much more that happened in that match that would have been a better way to end a show. You end the show with Drew getting screwed by Punk and then realizing, oh shit, no, not just Drew got screwed, but fucking Seth got screwed too by Punk. And now Punk is just sitting here going, look what I did. And Seth's coming over yelling at him and whatnot. That would have been a better way to end this show with Corey Graves holding Seth back. Punk just sitting there going, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? And then the show going off the air. That would have been a better way, in my opinion. Instead of just, solo pin Cody, so I guess he gets his match at SummerSlam. I'm not dogging on the match. I liked the match. I thought this was a really good match. Jacob Fatu looked like a fucking beast. Jacob Fatu, give him the world title now. Let him challenge Cody for the belt. That's going to be better than... Cody and Solo should be a pretty good match. Cody and Jacob Fatu, match of the year competitor. Match of the year nominee right there. If it could be, which it's not going to be, because Solo's the guy now on that side, but if it could be Cody and Jacob Fatu, and Triple H just says, go have that match I know you guys can have, he lets them have a freaking, we could have done this 2018 style match when we were both working the indies and whatnot. Oh my God. People in WWE would lose their minds, like the fans, because it'd be something they hadn't seen before. Cody working that style that he worked when he first left WWE and the stuff that we'd seen Jacob Fatu do outside of WWE, if they were to have that match in WWE, people in WWE and the fans and everybody would just be like, oh my God, it's what? Also, speaking of matches outside of WWE, how the hell we're going to have people on Twitter going, literally the moment Money in the Bank ends, the Hangman Jay White match was better than anything on WWE's pay-per-view tonight. How do you know? You can't watch both at the same time and give them both enough time to really see, not miss. Fuck you. You can't. I've watched back in the day, a couple years ago, when we had to watch NXT and when you had to watch NXT and Dynamite at the same time. You can't give both shows the amount of time and attention they need to be like, well, this was better than this was better, because you're going to miss stuff on either way. That's why I always focused more on Dynamite, watched NXT, had a friend do the NXT notes for me, but I did Dynamite notes because that's what I was more focused on. So how can you say, that Jay White Hangman match was better than anything on Money in the Bank, so you focused and watched that and then missed this match? You had to have missed something. Because you're not watching both, giving both 100% of your attention. You're giving one more attention than the other. You're not watching both at the same time. So you're going to miss something. A spot here, a spot there in this match or that match. So I saw a couple people on Twitter that posted that. This Jay White Hangman match was better than anything on Money in the Bank. Yeah, no. You can't say that until you watch both shows separate. Or at least watch that match and all of Money in the Bank. Watch all of Money in the Bank and then that match. Not at the same time. Because you can't give them the proper, what's the word I'm looking for, attention. But again, it's some people that they'll say anything to try and put AEW over because it's the superior brand. Really? Really? Because they worked at 8,000 seat building tonight and only put less than 3,000 tickets on sale because they didn't even have the confidence in themselves to sell it out. So they could say, we sold most tickets we put on sale. But they can't say they sold that building out because they didn't put all tickets on sale. All seats were not sold. They do that a lot. And this isn't a dog on AEW podcast, but they do that a lot. Where they go into a building and it's like, oh, that's a 8, 9, 10,000 seat building. Well, we're only putting 4,000 tickets on sale. So we'll see how it goes. I might be going to the July 20th Collision in Arlington, Texas, because they're running that esports arena. And so I got to go for work down to the Dallas area once a month or twice a month anyways for work. And so I'm like, hey, I'll make that my weekend. We'll go. We'll take in, I want to see that building and how AEW sets it up and this and that and being there live and get the feel for it. So I think that'd be a really cool collision to go to, or any AEW show to go to, because it's in something different. It's in a building that it's different than what most pro wrestling companies run. It's an esports arena. Smaller building, less seats on available and whatnot. So we'll see how it all does go. As far as this match does go, 6-man tag. It was Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens against the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu with Tonga Loa at ringside. Kevin Owens, of course, got the big pop because he's, the local boy. Crowd sang Orton's song and then also sang Cody's song as well. Rhodes started off for his team. When Sikoa stepped up on the Bloodline's behalf, the fans were chanting, "Fuck you, Solo. Fuck you, Solo." And Brandy Rhodes sends out a tweet and says, "What's the crowd chanting? ... JK, JK, he. So, yeah. Solo backed off pretty early and tagged in Tama Tonga. Rhodes and Tonga locked it up in the middle of the ring, and I'm pretty sure they fought before in New Japan. So this is nothing new for Cody. Actually, I'm pretty sure, because I was there when Bullet Club kicked the Elite out and they beat down Kenny and Cody. So yeah, they did some. Yeah, they have worked together. First as buds and partners, and then against each other. So there's nothing new for Cody, which is cool. Rhodes caught Tonga with a drop down uppercut before Tonga briefly gained momentum. Rhodes then dropped Tonga with a bulldog before he tagged Owens in. Tonga got shoved in the corner. I wrote that weird. And there's repeated stomps and punches by Owens to a huge roar from the crowd. Rhodes then got back in for his team and slammed Tonga with a suplex. Orton finally tagged in. And it was his turn to play around with Tama Tonga. 10 punches in the corner. Tonga then caught Orton with a thumb to the eye. So he could tag in Jacob Fatu for his first in-ring action ever in WWE. Like official in-ring match action. And whew, Jacob Fatu, this man better win that world title eventually. Fatu tried to run at Orton, but he got sent to the outside and hit with the draping DDT. Fatu quickly recovered while Orton tried to get hyped up for an RKO. He dropped Orton with a Samoan drop, though. Followed this up with a super kick. Fatu then dragged Orton to the Bloodline's corner and tagged in Solo Sikoa. We got more "Fuck you, Solo. Fuck you, Solo" chants from the crowd. As the Bloodline worked over Orton in their corner, they continued to isolate Orton, and then Tama Tonga tagged in. Orton stopped Tonga's momentum in his tracks with the back suplex, which allowed him to tag Owens into the match. Owens then unleashed his fury on Tama Tonga once more as he got his cannonball and swanton combination. Owens then pinfall was broken up by Jacob Fatu, who dragged Tama Tonga to his corner so he could just tag himself in. He's just like, "You're out. I'm going to drag you over here. I'm going to tag you. Bada boom, bada boom." Fatu then worked on Owens for a bit, and the Bloodline kind of isolated Kevin Owens, beating the crap out of him for a while. Owens did struggle to make it back to his corner, but failed to clear it completely as Solo forced him back to the Bloodline side. Tangaloa then got a cheap shot in on Owens as well, with the referee distracted. Sikoa then fought Fatu back in the flatliner. Owens violently was hit with a high-speed. So Owens was violently hit with the high-speed running hip attack in the corner, and they said, I haven't seen a running hip attack this violent since Umaga would do it back in the day. Jacob Fatu's uncle. And I was like, it doesn't look much different than when the Usos do it. But the way they said they did, but I guess like I missed something here or whatnot maybe. But they were like, Kevin Owens' head violently bounced around so hard, we never see it that bad when other wrestlers do this. Owens' momentum of hope, though, taken down once again by Jacob Fatu. Fans then chanted "Fight Owens, fight" as he tried to fight back the Bloodline on his own. Sikoa then took cheap shots at Rhodes, but he got sent over the top rope by Owens. Orton then looked to tag in, but Tonga Loa pulled Orton down with the referee and was distracted by Fatu. Then a crazed Kevin Owens beckoned Solo Sikoa to get back in the ring and hit him, and they started a little scuffle. Sikoa missed a corner splash. as Fatu tagged himself in. He trapped Owens in a chin lock before he headbutted him in the corner. There was a running splash by Fatu that missed, and Owens dodged out of the way. Rhodes finally got tagged in, and he sent Solo Sikoa to the outside. They finally got back in the ring, and there was a disaster kick by Rhodes to Sikoa. Followed this up with a Cody Cutter on Tonga. Rhodes then took out Tangaloa with a suicide dive into the announce table as Fatu attacked Cody. Fatu then got sent over the timekeeper's area with a toss and was tossed there by Rhodes. Solo Sikoa then caught Rhodes with a spear. Got a near fall off of it. The two men then met in the middle of the ring as Rhodes countered a Samoan drop with a pedigree attempt. Sikoa avoided it, and the referee got knocked down by accident. Rhodes then floored Sikoa with crossroads. Orton and Owens then joined in, Swanton and RKO respectively. The trio looked towards the commentary table, and they cleared it. Sikoa was set up in position for a shield powerbomb, but Jacob Fatu jumped in and beat everybody down, stopping the powerbomb. Owens avoided a running splash from Fatu and caused him to collide with the referee yet again. Owens then smashed Fatu with the Prime Hydration bottle. I thought this was great. Like, why hasn't anybody used this yet? He then leapt from the barricade onto Fatu through the announce table. Also, I didn't write it down here. There's one point when Jacob Fatu runs the ropes just right to the top and hit a picture perfect whisper in the wind in this match. So Owens threw Tama Tonga into the ring and tried to set him up for the package pile driver, but Tangaloa would jump in and hit him with a low blow to save his brother. But then he was taken out with an RKO from Randy Orton. Sikoa then hit a Samoan spike on Orton. Rhodes then caught Sikoa in position for the crossroads. Rhodes hit the triple crossroads attempt, but Fatu broke it up. Planted the WWE champion with a nice impaler DDT. He then picked him up. Solo hit Cody with a Samoan spike. 1, 2, 3. Slow 1, 2, 3. 2 was more like 1 because the ref was hurting. 2, 3. Solo pins Cody. WWE champion was pinned by Solo Sikoa, who said that he will bring the WWE championship back to the bloodline. So, like, great match. I thought this was an awesome showing for Jacob Fatu, but I was a little disappointed by it because there was, like, really, it was just a match. A good match, a great match. But at least with the World Heavyweight Championship match, A, that was a title match. It had steps on it. And B, there was story coming out of that match. There was drama, emotion, rage. A great way to end the show would have been with that World Heavyweight Championship match. Exactly how that played out. To see, to end the show with like Damian Priest with the title on the ramp and Drew in the ring kind of still like out of it. What the hell happened? Seth trying to yell at Punk and Punk just sitting on the announce table going, well, I messed all this up, didn't I? Oh, well, whatever. I'm happy with myself. Would have been a great way to end the show. Overall, I enjoyed the show. I thought it was a fun show. Great show. Post-show went a little long because John Cena kept saying, got another question. Then Tiffany Stratton was in there for literally like 2-3 minutes and was like, oh, my time's up. Okay, gotta go. Like, she was not going to try and pull anything. Punk then was like, give me another question. Also, Punk cannot go to a press conference without eating. He's over here eating some Tim Hortons donuts. He was like, hey, anybody hungry? I got some Timmy's. You know where to find me. But regardless, Triple H talked about a lot of things as well. Said between SmackDown, tonight's show, Money in the Bank, and tomorrow's Heatwave show in the Scotiabank Arena, they sold upwards of 45,000 tickets between the 3 shows, which is awesome to hear. So, yeah, really cool. Really good show. I enjoyed it. And now it's time to hear what you guys thought of the show. Overall, most of what I've seen tonight from the reaction post show is that very positive. So let's see. I'm going to put the Twitch poll up now. What did you think of Money in the Bank? I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. All right, so we got all that. Poll is now live on Twitch as we go and check the other polls. We refresh. Twitch poll. Threads poll. And and the YouTube community poll. So as far as the Threads poll does go, really interesting. 77% thought it was just all right. 29% liked it. As far as the Twitter X poll, 56% liked the show. 30% thought it was just all right. 13% didn't like it. Looking at the YouTube community poll, 73% liked the show. 20% thought it was just all right. And 7% didn't like it. Got a number of comments here. We can read those as well. It says, so sick of the bloodline story. Move on to new things. Well, they are, because it's a new bloodline. It's not Roman and the Usos anymore. It's Solo, Grills of Destiny, and Jacob Fatu. It says, I kind of liked, by the way, I met Drew McIntyre, Liv Morgan, Zoe Stark. Cool. Person says, thank you, Cena. The person says, wonder how much money KO took to keep making, what? Wonder how much money KO took to, oh, I'm not reading that comment. Never mind. That's a dumb, stupid, uneducated comment. Person says, you think we get a fatal 5-way at SummerSlam after what happened in the title match? Fatal 5-way? 5-way with who? Wouldn't that be a 4-way? If I'm thinking correctly? Wouldn't that be a 4-way? No, because they already announced. Because if I'm thinking what you're thinking, Damian, Drew, Seth, Punk, that's still 4, but it's not, because it was officially announced, Damian, Punk, and Gunther. So, no. It says, it was good the Bloodline was the same shit we've received before. More people not happy with the Bloodline. The person says, I liked it. The person says, it really isn't fair. Again, more of these. It's not just because of The Rock's family they're getting pushed. You stupid sons of bitches. Motherfucking dumbasses. Because all these guys that are now here, Tamatonga, Tongaloa, Jacob Fatu, have put in the work for years to earn the right to now be in WWE. Which shows me that you don't watch shit outside of WWE, because you wouldn't know how great Tamatonga was before coming to WWE, how great Tangaloa was before coming to WWE, how amazing Jacob Fatu is and was before coming to WWE. Like Grills of Destiny, Tamatonga, Tangaloa, one of the greatest tag teams who have never been in WWE. Ever. For you guys to say they're only here because The Rock got them here, Nepo babies, y'all can go to fucking hell. Person saying the Bloodline's untalented. Well, your comment is uneducated. And then person saying Zoe Stark needs a match at SummerSlam. Well, maybe, I don't know, probably not. As far as the live poll does go, 70% liked the show, 19% thought it was just all right, and 11% didn't like it. As far as on Twitch, everybody that voted liked the show. But that, guys, that is everything that took place tonight at WWE Money in the Bank. Remember, tomorrow night is NXT Heatwave. We'll be back here hyping up and talking about all that show as well. So with that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. So with that, have a great rest of your Saturday. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for NXT Heatwave. Have a good one, guys. All right. If you're still watching live on Twitch, we're going to send you to